Yo, yo. What's good? What's good? It's Stormy B-Man, and I am back. Welcoming you to Nerds on Culture for this Monday, February 23rd, 2026. This is number 154 in the series of Nerds. And this evening, we got a special show coming to you where we are going to revisit and have a discussion on the 1994 film Sugar Hill, a crime drama starring Wesley Snipes, Michael Wright, Teresa Randall. This was a film that was under the radar, but at the same time, a lot of people were hip to what was going on in Wesley Snipes' career because this was at the germination period of him growing as a leading actor. And this is another film that depicted crime lords in New York at a certain circa era of the late 80s, early 90s. And Clarence Williams III was in there, and he had an outstanding role, albeit a very small part. The part was so small it could be considered a cameo, but at the same time, he blew it up with his performance. And so we're going to revisit this film and talk about the wonderful aspects of the renaissance that was the early 90s in Black culture, with our music, our movies, and literature arts. So, with that being said, I'm gonna introduce my partner in crime. We got Drew Titan in the building with me this evening, and we're gonna discuss this wonderful film, Sugar Hill. What's going on with you, Drew?
It's Monday. Let's get it. Love it. Mondays, let's get it, man. This movie Um, I saw this in the movies. Saw this in the movies upon its release. I was a young man when this came out again. What year?
94.
94. I was a young man. I actually went out on a date with this young lady, and I didn't know any better. You catch the Late Show, but it's super hood where I went. For those of you that are familiar with the Bronx, I went back in the day. I don't know if it's still there. There was a movie theater at 161st Street Mall where the courthouses are, Yankee Stadium over the Grand Concourse. There was a movie theater. It was so hood in there, man. It was so hood, but I caught the show. But this is one of those shows you ain't have to worry about people being noisy and stuff, because Wesley Snipes was coming off of New Jack City, and he was hot back then. You know what I'm saying? He was the actor. He was our action star. He was our actor. This was our genre right here. This man right here. And we all knew what's his name from 5 Heartbeats. And we enjoyed the film. It was a crime drama and a lot of tragedy. And I enjoyed this, man. I enjoyed this. It's worth a second look too. All I'll say is it's amazing what a man would be willing to do to get out of the game and just try and settle down with the right woman. It's amazing what they'll do. You know what I'm saying? And that's what the story was about. And him and his brother they had the same goal, but to accomplish those goals, they were on 2 separate paths. It was just, it's a really good story, man. It's a really good story.
Yeah, and this brother standing behind them, that's the gentleman. His name is Michael Wright. And Michael Wright has played some great co-starring roles. He's been a forgotten gem in cinematic history. He was a part of this Renaissance period as well, with performances in certain roles. You might remember him from the 5 Heartbeats.
5 Heartbeats.
Yeah. He's like Eddie Kane, and there were other roles that he had. But one of the things you could say about Wesley Snipes is he earned the action roles. He wasn't one of those guys where they had him as a leading man and then try to put him in action ventures too. He was in the dramatic stuff first and kind of parlayed over into the action roles. And what I liked also about him is the fact that though he had the physical training of martial arts, since I think he said he was about 12 years old or something like that, he had been studying martial arts. He never made that be the focal point of his talents out front. But when it called for him to have physical roles, he was great. One of my favorites, which was not necessarily an action film where there's a lot of fighting, but it's action because of the story and the thematics of what transpired within the story, was him in U.S. Marshals.
Yeah.
I loved that role for him, man, because he and Tommy Lee Jones,
chemistry, man.
They did, and it was like he really had done no wrong, and it was like they were coming at him even harder. And man, think about it like this: Robert Downey Jr. played in there too, and he was basically a bad cop. But it's like, when you think about it, Wesley was up here and Robert was down there at that time.
Right. Yeah.
It's like, it just goes to show you how things can go for these film stars. But what are when it comes to mine, we're going to get into this because, let me remind people that we're going to do about the first 20 minutes of this show where you'll see it normally simulcast and dual streamed on YouTube on both my Stormy B Man channel and my Temple of Culture and Entertainment channel. But also on Rumble, we are broadcasting, and after the first 20 minutes, we'll be strictly on Rumble. So for those of you who are following me currently, just know that the stream will finish up for YouTube on, after at that benchmark time, and we'll be over still live on Rumble. For those who haven't followed on Rumble, whether you're following me, you're following Drew, either party, the link is in the description box on our channels, but please give us a follow. Give both channels a follow over on Rumble.
I put the direct link to Rumble for tonight's show in the chat. If you could pin that if you like.
Okay.
Pin that to the top.
What we want you guys to understand is by being able to be over on Rumble, we can operate without as many restrictions and censors on our content. That's the main reason that we're doing that. So just keep that in mind, everybody, because we try to bring you the best of what we can, and with those restrictions, we're kind of not allowed to do what we want to do, and so your cooperation will go a long way with assisting us. I'm trying to pin it. Okay. Do you have problems like touching the screen on your device? It's like sometimes it don't read your fingerprint or something. I like that.
Sometimes I gotta close out. I have multiple screens that I haven't realized, and I close it out.
So it took me a minute, but I got it. It's pinned there at the top of the chat for you guys. But what I was gonna ask, what are your immediate recollections of this film?
Well, it was going to the movies is an experience, and there's a lot of movies that I've seen growing up that it's like, oh man, I saw that in the movies, and it was a whole thing. Like, you're being told, oh, you're going to the movies today. Oh, it was a big thing. It was like an all-day thing. In this instance, and salute to Shogun, I see your comment. I was taking a young lady I was dating at the time, and I was like, man, I'm gonna get this chick to the movies, but it was a whole experience. And at this time, this movie, like I said, Wesley was leading the charge in the culture back then. He was getting a lot of work. Wesley was everywhere. Matter of fact, so we could do a whole show on Wesley alone in the 90s.
Absolutely.
Holy smokes. And this is one of his, this show that he's not only an action star, he's an actor. And what I liked about the movie, it had a bit, I want to say a bit of an all-star cast, because there were people in here that you youngsters don't even know. There was a show called Barney Miller.
Mm-hmm.
And that was Fish.
Yeah,
that was Fish for Barney Miller. And you know what's crazy? You want to know what's crazy, Stormy? Fish lived on 72nd Street in Manhattan.
Mm-hmm.
He lived in one of those big-ass buildings. And I saw him walking up the block one day. And I said, hey, Fish. He said, hey. And he shook my hand and everything, man. And when I saw him in Sugar Hill, that was the first time I saw him not being like jokey, you know? And he played that role, man. And
well, remember, you go back, he was in The Godfather.
He was in The Godfather, right?
He was in The Godfather.
These
Mike,
kids don't remember that.
Can you let me a break just this one last time?
Yeah. But I remember him more or less as Fish, because I used to watch, I used to watch TV back then, you know, the sitcoms. I remember him as Fish, but he played that role, man. And you had Wesley, and you got old boy from the 5 Heartbeats, and this was a good story. Oh, Link from Mod Squad.
Mm-hmm.
their father. Y'all youngsters, y'all just look all this stuff up, and everybody.
Yeah, that's Clarence Williams III.
Clarence Williams III. And I gotta tell you, man, this story was deep. It was tragic, but it had substance. It just wasn't bang bang shoot 'em up. I'm gonna get revenge. This had substance.
Yeah.
Now, I had to see this twice because the first time I saw it, I was naughty in the theater, but I got the gist of what was going on. So the second time I saw it, I was like, whoa, this is deep.
Yeah.
And pretty much, I'll let you read the plot. But this, my fondest memories was how, for a moment, I thought he was gonna start, karate kicking people in the theater. I mean, in the movie, and I'm like, nah, that's not coming.
Mm-mm.
He was walking on that edge, and he was actually trying to find a way out the game. In which his brother,
he was kind of like a Frank Lucas,
type
character, in this film. And what was really cool was the subtleness that Wesley brought to this role, because we were accustomed to him being a little loud, as a character, meaning that some of the characters that he had played in roles prior to this film, he kind of like leaped out at you because it called for that. Yeah. But in this film, you kind of were waiting for him to do that or whatever, but it never happened.
Never happened.
He was a subtle guy. In other words, it was something like, if anybody, and I think I mentioned this to you in the personal conversation we were talking about, if anybody have watched the series Snowfall with what's his name, Eldris, what is
Idris Elba?
No, not Idris Elba.
Oh shit, not Idris. What the hell am I talking about? You said Snowfall.
Yeah, Snowfall with the kid. What is his name? They've cast him as the new Black Panther. I can't think of his name.
Yeah. I know you're talking about.
Young DZ, you got Damson Idris. There you go. Because his name is Idris,
I said Idris Elba. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. But thank you, Young
Jesus
DZ.
Idris.
Young DZ is our official stat man, because he be knowing. Salute to you, brother. But yeah, Damson Idris, if you watch Snowfall, Wesley's character was a lot like that. And Snowfall, even though it took place in the late 80s, mid to late 80s, this film was in the early 90s, but they were similar type guys. It's just one was on the West Coast and one is on the East Coast here. And Wesley was that intelligent guy who could have gone to school, got a degree, this and that. But in order to make ends meet, he and his brother got involved in the game. And they were dealing with some older Italians and working for them, and they were looking to get out of the game in their own way. Like you said, his brother and they had different types of visions of how to get out. Now, I'm trying to pull up some information here because Michael Wright played his brother Ray Nathan. They just called him Ray. And Wesley Snipes played a character by the name of Romello. Their last names are Skuggs, Skuggs. And they had a dad named Arthur Romello. So of course Wesley was firstborn, named after him. They called him AR. Now, their dad, he had been in the game, but through some circumstances, things kind of fell apart for him, and he ended up becoming an addict and basically had blown his opportunities by becoming an addict. And he was an addict under Gus Molino, who was the boss of the Italian mafia, played by Abe Vigoda, who you guys just heard Drew refer to as Fish on Barney Miller. The cast is full of people, man, that you guys know. Steve Harris, Wood Harris's brother, is in here. O.L. Duke is in here. Donald Faison was in here as a young character.
Right.
I think this might have been his first film role. And you guys have seen him on various sitcoms and TV shows, hospital dramas and stuff. Donald Faison, he's been around now a long time. Leslie Unger, who used to be in a lot of TV movies and everything in the early 70s and through the early 80s.
Right.
Vondi Curtis Hall is in here, and he plays a professional athlete whom crosses paths with these guys. It's just the movie is really, really well done, and it's done with flashbacks too, where you'll see young Ray and young Romello encountering life situations and how it was affecting them while they were growing up and how their dad was being dealt with. And
man, that was brutal, bro.
Yeah, man.
That was brutal. And when in the theater, when he said, "Don't do this, not in front of my sons."
Yeah.
And they did that.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting in the theater like, they worked for this guy how long now? And you gotta, I'm like, they had to know that they were plotting a get back somewhere. They had to know. And we'll work through the movie.
Yeah,
we'll work through the movie because the climax of the movie, oh boy. Do you think that Mello, do you think he just wanted a clean break and get out, or he did want to get his revenge and get out?
I do believe he would have circled around at some point, but he wanted to do it his way.
Yeah.
And the way things ended up transpiring, it didn't go how he wanted it to go. And that's what was kind of heartbreaking because, revenge being a dish best served old and cold is the way to play it. And I think that was a part of how his approach was going to be. So, that's something to think about. But hey, man, we're 20 minutes in to the show, and we're going to do that exciting thing. We're going to go on over here to Rumble. So you guys who want to follow us and continue on with this wonderful recap of this film, please click that link, come on over there and give us a follow, both Drew and I, because there's a place where you can, follow us both, and our links will be available for you to do so. But anything else you want to say before we do this changeover, bro?
The link is pinned at the top. Like it, share it. All you gotta do is press the link. If you don't have a Rumble account, very easy. Just start an account. You can put your avatar in there later at some other time if you want. Come over there. You can super Rumble over there, whatever they call it over there. And we're going to be doing this a lot with our content. We're doing it here. Monkey Tuesday tomorrow is going to be the first time I do it with my boxing content because I'm about to go off tomorrow, and I'm not going to do it on YouTube. But
and this will be this evening. This is my first time.
It's this first time doing this, and we'll be able to play the music we want to play. We'll be able to play clips that we want to play without Miguel's interruption, because I don't know how any other channel gets to do whatever the hell they want to do, and we just can't do it. F that. Click the link at the top. Go to Rumble right now because we're gonna remain live over there. We're shutting down the YouTube part, but the link, the program is going to continue on Rumble. So we see you there in like a second.
Yeah. So we'll give everybody a moment to get ready to make that transition. In the meantime, I'll be shutting this down over here.
Yep. See you in a second, y'all.